Helene Wick. Hello, Helene. How are you? Come on here. You have to get the mic here adjusted for you. Let's see. Yeah. How's that? There we go. Or we can do that.
Hi. Thanks for eating while I'm on the stage.
You want to do an interview?
No, you said. We practiced this for a long time. Do you mind if I tell you jokes while you're eating? Oh, good. Thank you. Well, thanks for coming out tonight to hear comedy. My name's Helene. I'm from New York. And you might be looking at me wondering, is that the love child of Barbra Streisand and Barry Manilow? I'm not, but I am getting older like them. I just have a positive attitude. Like, I'll tell you something very intimate right off the bat. I'm losing my hair. I'm losing my hair, but the good news is I know where it's going. It's going to my knuckles. And when you go through the change, ladies, some of you might know, I'll put it this way, besides having the hair on my head on my knuckles, I'm growing a little bit of a macrame ring to go on my finger as well. I have these young friends and they complain about the cramps. I can't wait to go through the change so I won't have the cramps. And then what happens? They go through the change and then they have the hot and the cold flashes and they say, oh, I wish I didn't have this. You know what I say? Menopause, menstruation, menopause, those were the good old days. The cuckoo on my biological clock is wearing Depends. I've already passed the information age, and I'm headed for the inflammation age. You know, I have pound signs here, and I have parentheses here, and I have exclamation points here. So I figure if you have exclamation points, pound signs, parentheses, I'll just lay down. You can send a text message on my face. I try to have like I said, make a joke out of everything. You heard of that, ladies and men, you might have heard of the varicose veins? I've changed the name of them. I call them the roadmap to adventure. This road takes you to the Sterling Forest. And ladies, I know you do the Brazilian and all that, so I have to break it down. And this road takes you to the Dead Sea. That reminds me. You know, the young ladies walk through Manhattan and they say, oh, I hate the catcalling. This is what I get. Oh, excuse me, ma'am. Oh, madam, miss. Whatever happened to hey, babe? But I'm retired now. I used to be a school teacher in New York. Any school teachers in the audience? Well, the kids in New York are really tough. You know, I walk into my school building and I see the school colors, black and blue. Teacher, teacher, how do you tell time? That's easy. How long did you have me locked in the closet yesterday? And in New York, everything's a teachable moment. The superintendent, the mayor, everything's a teachable moment. So I'm teaching them how to read, and if you were my age, you remember the Dick and Jane books? Like Run, Spot, Run, See, Spot, Run. This is how I have to teach them how to read. Run, Spot, Run. See, Spot, Run. Spot is a pit bull. Dick's got a gun. Run, Spot, run. And those are the 10th graders. You heard of carving your sweetheart's name in the desk when we were young? Well, the desks were made out of wood then, but these kids carved their sweetheart's name in their sweetheart. And those are the girls. That reminds me, I taught 2nd grade, and Mrs. Connor's girls had a gang. It's pretty sad. They had a gang, and their initiation was to steal the milk containers off of my girls' lunch trays. So I named them the Half Pints. So I said to my girls, you gotta be tough, you gotta be tough. You gotta make those bloods hemorrhage. It's a terrible way to have to be, right? But I made it a teachable moment. You know how I named my classes gang? I was teaching prefixes and suffixes. So I used the prefix pre and the suffix shun, and their name was the prescript, with the crips in the middle, prescriptions. That was their name. That was their name. So I was married a couple of times, and my first husband, he was really spineless. Like he had... Are you laughing because I said I was married a few times? My first husband, he was really spineless. Like he had no spine. People say, isn't that a little harsh? No, I mean it. He has no spine. He has those rods in the back. He had the rods put in. But I was dating a guy from Brooklyn. Anyone from Brooklyn, even though we're in New Jersey? You from Brooklyn, man? Great. So this guy was from Brooklyn, and he lived on Bragg Street. He didn't have too much to brag about, if you know what I mean. And his singles ad said he loves to go hiking. But let me tell you something. I go in his building, and he's waiting 5 minutes for the elevator to go up one flight. What do you mean you love to go hiking? And why are you showing me your singles ads? We met on a blind date. He should have lived on Knapp Street, which is around the corner from Bragg Street. So then, he's still showing me his singles ads. It says, loves romantic horse and buggy rides. You're not in the Pennsylvania Dutch, you're not Amish, you live in Sheepshead Bay. Horse and buggy ride. So I was telling you I was married a few times, and my first husband was Jewish. Any Jews in the audience? Yeah. Woo-hoo. Yeah, I'm Jewish too. And then my second husband was Chinese. So people say to me, what's the difference between being married to a Chinese guy and a Jewish guy? I said, there's really not much difference. They're both cheap and they drive terribly. It's not very nice. But you know, next year, Hanukkah and Thanksgiving are going to be on the same exact night. Which means if I was still married, my mother-in-law would have only had to eat over once. Well, you've been a really great audience. Thank you very much. We'll bring back our MC, John.